So first up is Brian from Cielo.
Thank you, Zohar, and thank you to Kaltura for having us here. I'm Brian Plackis, co-founder, CEO of CL24. Pretty exciting time in the video space, as you know, and we'll talk more about this concept of how to drive maximum value in your video, how to drive maximum reach, which I think is a really appropriate word, not only to those in the native language, but second language viewers, second language learners, and really how to get the most out of that investment in those captions. Many of you are spending hundreds to thousands of dollars in the high end in journalism, for example, to create professional quality videos for a few dollars more. So it's $100 to $1,000 per media minute to create really high quality professional videos. For a couple dollars more, you could be getting so much more value out of those videos. And that's really what I think it is about. I refer to as media data, the data inside the video, as opposed to metadata, which I think of like, title, description, things outside of the video. So we call that media data. So really what we're trying to do is create low-cost, searchable media data. And this is really high-quality media data. Humans are creating the data, solving accessibility, search, and helping you drive content ROI. I joke, I think of us like Uber for media data. You don't worry about, is the driver licensed correctly? Am I going to get a good quality experience? Well, we leverage literally 10,000 people all over the world. We do all the vetting, completely on-demand approach. You don't need to call us to say, hey, I got 1,000 videos coming today. You just, through Kaltura, just pump them to us, and we just spin up workforces as needed. So we're curating a crowd, we're curating the job quality, and we're providing class of service, ultimately to turn this unstructured media data into searchable structured data. And we really focus education, enterprise, and the entertainment markets. So I think Zohar said it really well. This is how we think about it. Despite this massive growth in online video, there's really no effective way to search and access content. And it's missing, again, this idea of missing the media data. Ideally, the spoken words, why can't they be as crawlable as a web page? And they can, if you get the media data. And you're going to hear from the three different vendors here who, by the way, we're all partners together. There's different approaches to get that data. There's machine approaches to get that data, and there's really good use cases for that. There's crowd approaches where you want to leverage a volunteer crowd or a community who's very passionate about your content, and Dean's going to talk about that. And if you need a professional provider, we can deliver that data. So why should you caption media? It's interesting to me that today I think the market is really focused on captioning. I think search is even as important as caption. What I think is really cool is as you work with us, not only do you get the data that creates captions, we create a database that actually drives an index that delivers a really compelling search experience, and I'll give you an example of that. So as I mentioned, beyond the compliance considerations, you should do it because it maximizes your content value. And you're going to maximize the investment you're making in Kaltura because Kaltura can index all the data we upload into the system, and you'll see some really exciting kind of jump to frame capability for content discovery within the video or across your entire library. So Zohar talked about second language speakers. So there's different ways to think about it. For example, there's 2 billion people on the planet that have some English fluency, but with captions, you're creating a bridge for them. Maybe they can't understand a speaker's name, a title of a book, a company name, a product description. By having that caption, you can bridge that gap. And obviously, it's considerably cheaper than doing translations, which we can do as well. It drives viewer engagement, stickiness, and achievement. As I said, it enables content search and discovery. You can also power semantic-based recommendation engines. And again, you can maximize your investment and value in Kaltura. How we're a little different, I think, is primarily driven about how we leverage and build a workforce. We're taking advantage of this massive and growing independent freelance workforce that's developing almost in every country around the world. We can deliver near perfect quality, and there are many other companies that do a great job there. But we do it as a database, so it's actually searchable. We can deliver class of service as low as a few hours. We do the Wall Street Journal, for example. They're doing video all day long in their online TV show. We do that within 2 hours. It's near perfect. And again, it's entirely on demand. There's no scheduled workforce. There's no contract that says it's this many hours a day. It's on demand. We launched a feature 2 weeks ago called Progressive Return. So we partner with VoiceBase on the machine. So if you want a machine output first and index with machine, as soon as we get that from them, we push it right out to Kaltura. And then we do a first pass at a 95% quality. That gets pushed right out to Kaltura. And then we do a 98% or 99% near perfect, or a speaker ID pass, and each pass gets passed out to Kaltura, so you can take advantage of it as soon as it's ready. That's called Progressive Return. We also have the ability for you to edit if there's a word or two that needs to be tweaked. We have an editing tool set. We can handle high volume like I mentioned, and it's entirely on demand, no scheduling required. And I think the beauty of the Kaltura model is, one integration with Kaltura. You use our plugin, or we go through the KMC API, you get access to all of our human quality data. We can get you access to machine generated through our partner VoiceBase, and we can provide you access to translations as well. So both, we do native languages, about a dozen, all the prevalent languages, French video, French data, Spanish video, Spanish data. We also do translations and all that. We do that through a partner. But the idea is one integration with the Kaltura platform, you get to all of that. So it's like a one-stop shop. As I mentioned, we have deep integration, KMS plugin. You can, and I'll just show you these. So there's both a KMS plugin, and we just launched a moderation plugin as well, so people can request captions, and then a moderator can select them. I'll show that in a second. And then we also have API integration through tags. So think of this as kind of like a checkout experience. You're shopping on Amazon, and when you shop, you want to ship it to your house, FedEx, UPS, 1 day, 3 days, 5 days. Well, now you can order your captions that way. So you can default this, but the idea here is that once you upload your video, you come in and you can pick what language the video is sourced in, English, French, Spanish. You can either do it natively, or you can translate to any number of those languages. You can pick the quality level, you can pick the turnaround time, and even things like speaker names or terminology that's difficult, you can leave notes that get presented to the captionist. This is something we'll be launching in the next few weeks. I'm pretty excited about it. Oregon State helped us think through this. Is a KMS moderation plugin, and this idea that you might have a ton of video out there, but you only want to do it if an accommodation is needed and needed on demand. And so somebody can actually request this, say, I want this video captioned, but they don't have budget authority, for example. And so they can make a request. It goes to a moderation management tool, and the moderator can basically approve these, and then they go off and they get captioned.
And this is all within MediaSpace? This
is all within, right, Kaltura MediaSpace.
So it's a source of feedback? Is that basically what it is?
It allows your viewers to basically say, hey, I'd like to get a caption on that one. And in a use case that we see in education, you might have somebody who's hard of hearing, and they want to raise their hand, and now they can raise their hand through the platform and make a request.
Yeah.
And this is an example, I think, how you really maximize your value in Kaltura. So here's we did this video, I think it's last year's conference. And you can see I'm searching on the word video in the search box, and it's finding all the captions that are there. And if I click on each one of those timestamps, it jumps right to the frame before the start of that caption. And so, again, as exciting as it is that we're making videos accessible, I think it's even as exciting that they're also becoming searchable. And again, you get this for free. You make one investment in our output, and you get both use cases. Something else I think that's exciting, this is my last demo slide here, is SEO. So here's an example where we went through and captioned for, I think it was Connect last year, and then a bunch of other content for Kaltura. Google's crawling these transcripts and finding them, and actually then serving up those videos. So you're actually making your content findable. We talked before about why can't a video be as crawlable as a web page? Well, it can. And here's an example of it. And we have clients that are driving a ton of video views by making this Google crawlable.